Happy New Year, everybody. Good to see you guys.
Happy New Year.
Brian Peterson, you'll be up first. Go ahead.
Hey, Tommy. Happy New Year. Just first and foremost, did you get everybody back healthy? You're going to have a full team available?
Yeah, everybody's healthy that has been available, and we're exactly got the same group we had before Christmas.
Okay. Have you been able to use this time as maybe an opportunity to either reset or kind of go back to the drawing board? Did it in any way, did it benefit you having this extra break?
Well, I'm hopeful. That's the plan. I mean, obviously, things are in flux right now a little bit with, the current COVID situation everywhere. And, I just told our guys our job is to, be excited to play, continue to practice well and get better. So, we kind of went back to the basics and really, dug into kind of just the fundamentals and then, kind of the next layer of details and, are trying to get this team ready for a tough Pac-12 schedule.
Thank you.
David Kelly, go ahead.
Hey, Tommy, with everything that's obviously going on with the COVID-19 and the Omicron variant, was there any thought at all not to let the kids go home to keep everybody in a more enclosed environment here in Tucson?
Well, I mean, not really. These are all difficult choices, but obviously, you got to factor in the well-being of the kids in these families and mental health, and they're more than just basketball players, and everything was kind of unraveling, right before Christmas, and we just didn't think it would be fair to tell guys, hey, shifting game plan, you're all going back to Tucson to hang out in your rooms by yourselves, and hey, listen, our team's done a great job, taking all the available precautions to prevent a COVID spread amongst our team. I mean, I know that's far from any guarantees, but, they've done what they've been asked to do. So if they've done what they've asked to do, I think they should be able to see their families over the holidays.
Bruce Pascoe, go ahead.
Hey, Tommy. Hey, just following up on that, did you guys, I don't think the way it's written, you guys have to do like that surveillance testing, so to speak. And I didn't know, when everybody came back, did they get tested? Did you have to do anything like that? And did you have any issues at all? Or you were saying everybody's been ready from the beginning?
Yeah, we've had no issues. We're not required to do any kind of surveillance testing when they come back. I mean, we have protocols that Justin Kokoski, our trainer, watches closely. And, if we have symptomatic people, if anybody's symptomatic, will be tested. And other than that, we're just kind of, marching forward day by day and abiding by the protocols.
Okay. In light of what we're doing with Zoom here, I didn't know what you think about doing these kind of things. And also, because of this, is there any thought you might spread out the bench or have the bench be further removed from the fans? Because the fans aren't wearing masks for the most part. And I didn't know if that's been a concern with this new variant and if there's anything else you'd like to see happen or that's being talked about.
I haven't heard of any changes on our end, from obviously a game day experience type thing. No, I mean, I don't love doing these press conferences via Zoom. I would rather see your guys' smiley faces here, but it is what it is, and it's the current state of things. So I think we're going to do the best job we can moving forward.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? I don't see any other hands up. Jay Gonzalez, go ahead.
Hey, Tommy. So, it's been, 10, 11 days since you played. Was it a good thing or a bad thing that your last game was a loss and then that you had this gap, of not being able to play games and to kind of get back on track and whatnot?
Well, I don't know if it's ever a good thing your last game was a loss, but, I think, it's our job to make the best of it and learn from it. And, obviously we knew a December 22nd game at Tennessee is going to be a tough game, before Christmas. And I mean, a win would have been great, but it's not going to really have any significant impact on the rest of our season. I think it was a great opportunity for us to go play a really good team that played really well that day. And, to be honest, we didn't play great. And, we dug back in the game, but it wasn't quite enough. And, we've definitely talked about the game numerous times. We broke it down on film. We've met with guys individually. And, we're going to do our best job we can to use it as a learning tool.
And what can you tell us about Washington?
Washington is, they have a lot of experience, even though it's kind of a team that's been newly put together. It's one of these teams built on a, significant number of transfers. The number one being a guy you guys know probably better than I do, Terrell Brown, who's, leading the Pac-12 in scoring, and he's a really good offensive player. And then they're unique because they play that zone, which can be really effective. And it's one of those deals you could try to simulate it in practice, but it's probably not going to look or feel the same as it does on game night. I mean, they do it as well as anybody. So they present a lot of challenges, and then they're pressing and they're pressuring the ball full court, and trapping and going for steals. So it definitely has my attention, and we've tried to make sure our guys are focused on it, and they're going to present a tough challenge. I know maybe they haven't had the greatest start to the season, but it's a new year, and it's really kind of kicking off conference play, and I'm sure they're going to come in here excited to play, and we got to be excited to play, and I think they are. I mean, I'm from what I've been observing at practices, I mean, our guys are chomping at the bit to get out there again against somebody else.
Thanks.
Brian Peterson next, and then Bruce, you'll be next. Brian, go ahead.
Tommy, is there any update as far as rescheduling the LA games, and how much do you get to be involved in trying to fit those games into the schedule, or is that all the league?
No. I mean, it's definitely a collaboration, between both teams and the conference office. And obviously, the conference office has the final call, but I think they try to work with the schools and and listen to their concerns, on certain game dates. We have some game dates penciled in on those. They've yet to be 100% confirmed, but we're hopeful that they will be shortly. And we're expecting a log jam of games to come up here in the next couple weeks. Where I think you guys will be pretty busy, and we'll be pretty busy.
Do you see any scenario where you would potentially have to play back-to-backs?
Not at this time.
Okay.
But I mean, I definitely see scenarios where you're going to see maybe like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or Monday, Thursday, Saturday type, weeks where we have 3 games in a week.
Thank you.
Bruce, go ahead. David Kelly, you'll be after Bruce.
Tommy, well, that actually, it's interesting. I was going to ask you that. How do you do that? Could you go to LA twice, or is it possible maybe you do what you're talking about before you play ASU on that second ASU game, and you go to LA first in the week and play both of those, and then host ASU?
I mean, it might, honestly, it might be tough to do both. To do a 2-game road trip that you missed on
Right.
one swing, to kind of cram it into a conference schedule. So, so I mean, I'm expecting probably to have to go to LA 2 times. Two quick hitting trips. Just in and out. I mean, that's what
2 times.
That would be my guess as of now. But again, everything is subject to change. I just think it's just probably really hard for the league to go back and throw out the schedule they already did and remake a new one. So you kind of you have a template of a schedule you're working off of, and you're trying to plug in these dates that work for both teams. With an already existing schedule, so it's hard.
Yeah. You mentioned, of course, what you did just coming back. Would you mind kind of breaking down the detail? I mean, you come back on the 26th, I think it was, and then all of a sudden you have all this time. I didn't know, did you give guys another day off, and did you get into some things that maybe you don't normally have a chance to, individually or team-wise, et cetera?
Well,
how did you use all that time?
No, I mean, that's interesting. The schedule has been in so much flux that, we thought we may have a game January 1st. And, one of these reschedule games, just ended up not happening. So, we started kind of preparing for that a little bit. And then we knew pretty quickly we got that Washington game locked in on the 3rd tomorrow. So it kind of gave us a fixed point to work off of. And Yeah, we did take a day off, but we got back on the 26th, and that first night back, the guys had a few days off, and we just kind of got up and down the court a little bit, did a lot of shooting, a little bit of conditioning type stuff, and then after that, on the 27th, and we 27th, 28th, we practiced hard. I think we took the 29th off, and we went back, the 30th, and practiced really hard, and I think the 31st was maybe a lighter day, and then yeah, and then the last 2 days, I mean, on the first we practiced hard. Today we'll do a normal, day before a game, prep, and then hopefully play well tomorrow.
Well, what do you think in general about just both you and Washington haven't played a whole lot lately? I think, how does that affect scouting and preparation for them? I mean, do you go back to some of those games they played in November and December, or
I mean, you'll take a holistic approach, but usually you're going to focus on the last couple of games they played, and they had, I'm sure they had a Christmas break just like we had a Christmas break, and they weren't practicing every day, so for the most part, what they've done is probably what they're going to continue to do with some slight adjustments, and yeah, I mean, I guess, hey, if a team wants to put in a whole new offense or a whole new defense over the break, well, we're going to learn about it at the same time you do, and then we're just going to have to figure it out when we get out there.
Okay, thanks.
David Kelly, go ahead.
Hey, Tommy, just in terms of going back to that Tennessee game and putting a wrap on that, I know one of the things you said after the game was in terms of your kids, arguing with the officials that usually goes bad for the team that does that the most. I was just curious what your thoughts were, because the general feeling within nationally to people that watched that game and within the fan base of people that watched that game was how bad the officiating was. And I was just curious, maybe your thoughts on after you heard the whole aura of nationally, what people thought, what your feeling was on it.
Are you trying to get me fined right now? No. Hey, but honestly, I would just say this. Of course, there's questionable calls. There's questionable calls in every high-level game. But, I mean, as a coach, I can go back and watch that film, and I guarantee I can find twice as many questionable decisions that we made as coaches or players, that had more of an impact on that game than officiating. So, you got to take officiating out of the equation, and you got to just evaluate the things you can control. And I didn't think we did a great job handling pressure, obviously, in taking care of the basketball, especially early in the game. I didn't think we did a great job, battling on the glass like we're capable of. And if you're turning the ball over and you're not, winning the battle of the boards, it's going to be a tough night no matter who and where you play. So you literally take the officials out of the equation, and I haven't even thought about them, at all since that game's been over. I mean, I haven't called the conference office. I haven't done anything. Like it's this is it's an Arizona basketball issue, not an officiating issue. So that's how I've approached it, and that's how our team's going to approach it.
And just kind of to follow up on my initial question about allowing the players to go home over the break, was there one specific mandate that you and Justin kind of, put out to the kids? Look, go home, see your family, but do not go outside your house and see anyone else. Was there a mandate like that?
That's hard, David. I mean, these are young kids who, deserve every freedom you and I have, and so I want them to see their friends and family, but you ask them to be smart, and if you're in a situation, with a bunch of people, in close proximity, wear a mask or avoid those situations, But other than that, we really didn't set any parameters. Our guys have done a great job, of handling the COVID thing. I mean, Arizona basketball did a great job of handling the COVID situation last year, and they continue to do so this year. And but I know other teams that have done great jobs that have gotten hit by it. So there's really no guarantees right now. And I just think you take the precautions, with the vaccines, the boosters, and we've taken advantage of every opportunity in that area that we could have, and then just be smart otherwise, and hopefully you get a little bit lucky.
Jason Shear, and then we'll wrap it up with Bruce after Jason. Jason, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, does the message change at all now that Pac-12 play is starting, or do you emphasize something that maybe you didn't during out-of-conference play?
No, I mean, the overall, Jason, the message doesn't change. We're still trying to, build and establish our culture on a daily basis, and I just want to make sure our guys, keep that chip on their shoulder, you know. And you know, when we started this journey a couple months ago, we were unranked and kind of came out of nowhere, and now we're ranked, and I don't want our guys to be comfortable with that. I want our guys to be hungry, and I think we're starting out conference. I know it's weird to say we're starting it out 1-0 because we played one conference game earlier, but there's a lot of games to be played, and we gotta take them one by one. And in a conference season, you know, if you want to compete for a conference championship, you know, I mean, game 3 is as important as game 18. And so we want to do the best job we can in these early games, just kind of reestablishing ourselves. And really, honestly, I keep telling you guys, it's now and next, just kind of taking it day by day. And that's what we're going to do. But we're not going to change our approach or anything on how we've been doing things. I mean, I think we're still a young program, kind of in its infancy stages. So I think we're still really trying to develop the culture and the habits on a daily basis. And that's going to be my focus.
All right, last one, we'll go to Bruce.
Tommy, hey, I'm sorry to keep asking you this, but you did say the same guy since Christmas. I mean, at this point, is Kim on the team still, or how would you, you know, I mean, it's been almost
Bruce,
a month.
I've been told that you know, that I'm not allowed to comment on any of that stuff, you know, and I mean,
Okay.
I mean, he's a member of this team, and we'll see what happens in the future. But yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know if it was like a finished thing where
Nope.
whatever. So, okay. And the other thing is, I just on a featuring note, I'm wondering with the Christmas break. I remember Azula said that he was going to Phoenix with Vilas's girlfriend's house and hanging out, and I you know, I thought that was kind of a cool thing. And I just was wondering in general what you thought about their relationship. They seem, you know, pretty supportive of each other, obviously being twins, and you know, if you've gotten a chance to kind of get to know them together,
Zoo and
what
Toad?
you make sense.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, no. I mean,
they're-
just
the
in
team
general.
overall,
Yeah.
or just Zoo and Toad?
No, those two guys, the two brothers, and how they you know, what how they interact, or you know, what do you think of their relationship? Because it seems like, you know, even it seems like one that Toad Vilas could play at a number of smaller schools and play. Instead, he's here and supporting his brother and playing a little bit, and you know, in a limited role for you guys. And you know, what do you make of that, and kind of what he brings to?
I mean, you know, they're twins, and you definitely see that connection. They have a special relationship. You know, I think we all have a good time, you know, teasing them a little bit when they go at each other in practice, and you know, and I know, you know, if I tease Zoo a little bit, Tote gets the biggest smile. If I tease Tote a little bit, Zoo gets the biggest smile. So they have a really healthy relationship, and it's a ton of fun, and I think the guys in general just love being around both of them. I mean, you know, I think this is their second year in the U.S. I think they're way more comfortable. I know this. They're smiling all the time, and you know, they're definitely opening up, and they're really, really valuable members of our team, and we love having them.
Do you ever, as a coach, do you ever ask one of them, or maybe say if you're trying to get through with the Zulus on something, and then you say to Tote, hey, can you get him to do this, or what do you think? Or I mean, do you ever kind of go through them that way?
I mean, I might say it more of a teasing manner. I mean, we had an instance yesterday. I think Zoo threw kind of a lazy pass, and I went up to Tote on the side. I'm like, Tote, tell him to quit throwing those lazy passes. And Tote's like, Coach, he's done those his whole life. So yeah, no, they're great guys, and it's a lot of fun to have them around, and they have a special relationship and a special bond, and you know, and they're both turning into men, so I'm sure they won't, you know, be able to be together every single day of their life for the rest of their lives, and so I think they're just kind of enjoying this time, because you know, who knows how much longer, you know, they're going to be, you know, roommates, and you know, be able to be in each other's lives on a daily basis.
Yeah, great. Thanks a lot.
All right, that's it. Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys, have a great time, and I'll see you tomorrow, I guess, on Zoom.